This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Well, good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Wednesday, December 7th, 2022. We're so glad you could join us today. In today's episode, I talk with Brent Johnson, Iowa Farm Bureau President, at the Iowa Farm Bureau annual meeting. We just talked about how that conference was going and how many producers were there to share agricultural knowledge with each other. We also take a look at that ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Well, we're at the end of another trading day, and for a bit of analysis, we go to Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. First off, Tyler, what's been going on in the grain markets today?
Well, for the first time in quite a while, we've had to wear my sunglasses today. The screen was so green and bright, which was a good feeling. Have pretty much all grains up, exception of soybean oil right now is still getting beat up as it has been for about the last week. But your corn, your wheat, soybeans, all having a strong day. Corn up about 4 cents in the March contract. Most of your bean contracts up 16 to 15 cents, and most of your wheats, with the exception of spring wheat, up about 20 cents. So pretty good day all the way around in the grain complex.
And what would we say is like the primary cause for all of that green on the board today? Are we looking kind of still within the country, within the U.S. markets, or are we looking across the world? I mean, we have, especially in Argentina, things aren't looking great, probably adding a little bit of support there.
It feels like the Argentina story is probably getting the most traction. Reports of heat anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit above normal. So, they should, they're going to read their temperatures in Celsius, but when you convert it to Fahrenheit, they should be somewhere in that 80 to 85 degree range. And they're talking 110, 115 degree Fahrenheit temperatures. So, that doesn't take long to take its toll on a small emerging crop that's coming out of the ground. So that's really, I think, where the bulk of the bullishness is coming from. Argentina grows a lot of beans, but they crush it into soy meal, and they're the world's leading soybean meal exporter. And so meal has really led that rally, and meal took off early this week. So beans are kind of following that soybean meal, and that's finally maybe got everyone to decide, okay, maybe we've pushed this corn and wheat market down a little too far. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a little bit of pausing here going into tomorrow, and then the WASDE report on Friday.
Right, and on the other side of things in South America, Brazil's actually looking at really favorable conditions and potentially even a record-setting crop. Now, obviously, it's too early to kind of factor that into the marketplace, but if they do see a fantastic crop like that, will we see a bit of pressure exerted on our markets?
Yeah, we feel like the key time frame for soybeans especially is going to be this late December, January, early February. If their weather holds and they do have good growing conditions, which as of right now we have no reason to believe that won't be the case. The reason they're calling for such a large crop out of Brazil is they're planting a lot of acres to soybeans, and so even if they do have some trouble with weather, you put that much land in production, and you're going to produce a lot of soybeans, and they're going to have to go somewhere, and so that could be problematic looking forward. Producers pay attention to that November 23. It's going to settle today at about $14 or just shy of $14. It's made a run at that $14 level multiple times over the last 3 months. It can't seem to quite get it done. You plug in that futures price into any budget, it still pencils out pretty decent. So we've been encouraging producers to look at how they can start laying into some 23 hedges or option strategies that try to protect those values. Because boy, it would sure be painful to see Brazil produce a good crop, the weather up here turn around this spring, and we get some rain and ease some of these drought concerns. I think that could have a real detrimental effect on soybean prices going forward.
And what about the other side of the marketplace in the livestock complex? Are they mostly just reacting to the grain prices today?
Feeders probably, you got feeders down 90 cents. It really wasn't just a ton of news out in the livestock space today. Pretty bearish day in livestock yesterday. All feeders, fats, and hogs all took it on the chin pretty aggressively. It wasn't really a rebound. There wasn't really a continued sell-off, just a little bit of stepping back and pausing there as well, possibly trying to see how the grain markets react over the next couple of days.
All right, Tyler. Well, lots of great information today. For those of our listeners who would like to get in touch with the folks at agmarket.net and learn more, how can they do that?
Check us out, our website, agmarket.net. Check out our contact page. It lists all the brokers and how to get a hold of them. Also, take a look at our intel that we offer. And we've got a conference coming up February 5th and 6th in Nashville, and it should be very informational and should be a good time.
Well, thanks for the analysis as always, Tyler, and we look forward to talking with you again soon.
You bet. Take care.
That again was Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. We'll go ahead and take a look at how those numbers close. That's courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. March corn is up 4 even at 641 and a quarter. January soybeans up 17 even at 1472 even. January soybean meal up 1040 at 459 even. January soybean oil down 66 at 6096. Chicago wheat up 20 and a half at 749 and a half. Minneapolis spring wheat up 6 even at 902 even. Kansas City hard red wheat up 18 and 3/4 at 848 and 3/4. And March oats down 4 1/4 at 332 and 3/4. On the Merc, December live cattle up 37 at 151.92. January feeders down 90 at 180.90. December lean hogs up a dime at 82.37. December pork cutout down 107 at 88.12. And December class 3 milk down 7 at 20.40. And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I talk with Iowa Farm Bureau Federation President Brent Johnson. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Well, yesterday I was at the Iowa Farm Bureau annual meeting, and I had the chance to talk with Iowa Farm Bureau President Brent Johnson about what all was going on in that meeting, as well as a little bit on the next year's Farm Bill. And of course, a lot of members and producers here today to do some networking and just have a meeting together all about agriculture. So first off, how great is it to be able to get everybody here in Des Moines and just have these conversations?
Yeah, that's something that we don't take for granted anymore, is that opportunity to meet together and come together. There's a lot of friends out here, and they're strengthening their networks and expanding those, and to meet in person. The weather's great outside. That's an anomaly for this event, it seems like. So really welcoming a lot of people here to Des Moines the next couple days, and looking forward to a lot of very, very good conversations.
Right, and some of those topics for those speaking sessions especially are very interesting. You've got everything from brand management to just something that farmers are probably more used to talking about in crop management practices. So, lots of great things for farmers to talk about today. How important is it that they get that wide range of information from an event like this?
Yeah, there's truly something for everybody here that's involved in agriculture, and you've listed off a couple of the highlights, but that opportunity to maybe sit in on a session that maybe you're not so familiar with, and expand your knowledge base, and as well as the people in the room, and to use it as a growth opportunity. So solidify the things that you do know very well, and stretch yourselves into some opportunities that you don't know very well in a very comfortable setting, and enjoy some celebrations when it comes to our Ag Leaders Program and young farmers across this entire state. We've got some great speakers lined up. I mean, it's really truly an exceptional event over the next 2 days.
Right, and so important to expand those horizons because we have so many farmers who aren't solely farmers anymore. They might have an off-the-farm job that could be anything from influencing online to just another agribusiness practice. And this is a situation where you can really hone those skills and bring in more practices that can just build a better agriculture.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. You know, agriculture isn't just about farming anymore. And you know, we need our support systems from all the sectors working together in unison to make sure that we can continue to move this industry strongly far into the future.
Right, exactly. And, you know, obviously a couple days of activity going on here. Are there any other highlights of kind of the speaking events or just the general meeting that you know, our listeners should know about?
Well, one of our key features, our keynote speaker tomorrow in the morning is Jason Brown. He's a former NFL player who walked away from the game to become a farmer. And his year's worth of production he gives away every year to help those families in need. And it's just a tremendous story of somebody who wants to help, who got involved in agriculture, and it really speaks. It's a huge tribute to just the nature and the culture of agriculture as it revolves around this state. Outside of that, you know, again, there are so many fantastic leaders here that are getting a lot of awards for the things that they've done all year long. We're announcing some new programs coming up, and you know, it's just a fantastic place to be.
And it's so important to have those advocates for agriculture because we know sometimes that we have to battle a little bit for that public image and to get people to know what agriculture is really about. So, of course, we appreciate anybody who wants to talk and has that position to really show people what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there are so many good stories in agriculture. I mean, yeah, we're corn and soybean farmers here in Iowa, beef and pork and all those commodity groups, but there are so many good stories about conservation and reducing our environmental footprint and taking care of our land and our animals adequately, and you know, it's really an exciting time. And then you couple all that up with the technology growth and that ability to monitor and measure, and then you can make calculated changes to continue to positively move this industry forward, and it's an incredibly exciting time.
Right, and not only, you know, do we appreciate those advocates, but we know that it's increasingly important for farmers themselves to be bigger advocates for agriculture.
Yeah. I mean, nobody knows this industry better than those folks that work in it, and I'm one of those guys that I could truly be happy working at home with my head down every single day and trying to ignore the outside world, but it's really important to continue to tell your story. I mean, you know it better than anybody else. So step up and share your experiences, and it's okay to learn along the way and share your failures as well as your successes. So, you know, it does measure progress and where we're headed.
Right, and of course, you know, speaking of farmers really speaking up for themselves and making their issues known, we've got the Farm Bill process really kicking up again. What are some things that you've been hearing from farmers across the state that we need to see in this next Farm Bill?
Yep. Yeah, so largely in this Farm Bill, we're really looking to keep this Farm Bill intact with where we're at. There's a lot of things that are working really well. You know, the Title I programs, crop insurance programs, and some of those things. There are some conservation conversations in this Farm Bill. All of those are very important to make sure we keep in place. This is the Farm Bill that is going to surpass $1 trillion before it gets passed, and that's a huge milestone. You know, something that we need to take seriously, because over half of the U.S. House members have never worked on a farm bill. So they're going to be working on a very, very large bill that is very far-reaching, not only for agriculture but small communities. And they need to be educated and understand why this bill is so important and critical when it comes to the future health of not only Iowans but people across the entire country.
Right, that's one of the things that we heard a lot when we were recently down at NAFB convention in Kansas City, is a lot of farmers, they want to see these advancements, but more importantly, they want They want to see a policy of do no harm when it comes to the Farm Bill.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's really what we're working forward. And we'll get some direction out of our voting delegates here at this session, and then actually next week I will be in Washington D.C. with other state Farm Bureau presidents from across the country, and we're going to be lining up our priorities for this next Farm Bill to make sure that American Farm Bureau is in tune and keyed up on those issues that are important for farmers.
Of course, like you mentioned earlier as well, this is something that benefits everybody. This isn't just important for farmers. It's important that everybody knows, what these changes are going to be and how it'll impact everyone from the farmer to the consumer.
Yeah. It's a widely known stat that 70% of the Farm Bill is a SNAP program or food assistance programs, and so this is the bill that really secures food and fiber and fuel for this state and for this country, and of course farmers and agriculture in all aspects of this industry are a key component in that conversation.
All right, Brent. Well, is there anything else with the Iowa Farm Bureau that our listeners and viewers should know about today?
Yeah, well, come on down. We've got there are so many educational sessions, and of course we've always got good food here. There's going to be a lot of people. Really looking forward to those conversations. The weather's great, so stop on down and wander the halls here. Find me, find some of our board of directors, and we look forward to having you.
All right, Brent, thanks for taking the time to visit with us today, and good luck with the rest of the convention.
Very good. Thank you, Riley.
That again was Iowa Farm Bureau President Brent Johnson. As for right now, let's go ahead and take a look at that ag weather outlook. Well, recently we've been seeing a lot more seasonable temperatures as we kind of transition from the fall season into winter. And now tomorrow we're looking at a bit of a temperature range across the state as a storm system moves in with a bit of a snow and rain mix, so a bit of that wintry mix coming in. But as for right now, let's go ahead and take a look at what the National Weather Service has to say for the next 24 hours. As you can see from the National Weather Service, we have a little bit of a wintry mix coming in. Today we have mostly sunny skies across much of the state and clouds building in the northwest, highs ranging from the mid-20s to upper 40s. Tonight we have clouds building across much of the state and a few snow flurries scattered across the state as well. Lows overnight should range from the upper teens to upper 20s. And tomorrow, expect mostly cloudy conditions with a wintry mix of rain and snow, with highs ranging across the state from the low 30s to low 40s. And taking a look at the affiliate weather map for tomorrow, the entire state is expecting that wintry mix with of rain and snow. Cherokee high around 33, Shenandoah high around 41, Des Moines high around 39, Waterloo much of the same, high around 39, Albia high of 40, and Clinton exactly the same, wintry mix and a high of about 40. For more detailed forecasts in your part of the state, make sure to check in with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. That's been a check of the Ag Weather Outlook, and that also brings us to the end of this episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on social media at Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And you can also find all of our video content as well as previous episodes of AMPM on our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button to see when those go live. Don't forget as well our twice free daily market podcasts on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Dustin Huffman and Mark Magnuson, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.